They say Russia is unstoppable, but here's the truth. No matter how many times it tries, no matter how many tanks it throws into the fight, it just can't take Pokrovsk. For much of this war, the small but vital city of Pokrovsk has been one of Moscow's biggest targets. It's not just another settlement on the map, it's a logistical lifeline for Ukraine and a fortress guarding Donetsk. Capturing it would open doors for Russia that have been slammed shut since 2014. Yet every time Moscow launches an assault, it ends the same way, in failure, fire, and humiliation. Take the events of late August. On the 28th, Russia rolled forward with an armored column, expecting to bulldoze Ukrainian defenses and claim a prize it's been chasing for years. But Ukraine was ready. As the tanks pushed deeper, they walked straight into a trap. Within moments, American-made HIMARS rockets rained down, turning those steel beasts into nothing but burning wreckage. Another Russian assault crumbled to ashes. Days later, on September 1st, United 24, media confirmed what had happened. Ukrainian airborne troops, backed by the precise and deadly firepower of HIMARS, had obliterated a Russian column trying to carve its way through the Pokrovsk region. But here's what the headlines don't tell you. This wasn't just luck, and it wasn't just raw firepower. It was careful reconnaissance, meticulous timing, and the ruthless efficiency of modern drone warfare. The Franko group, a Ukrainian recon unit working with the 79th Air Assault Brigade, had spotted the Russian column 6 miles behind the front lines. 7 armored vehicles, including tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, escorted by 100 soldiers, some bizarrely riding motorcycles. Moscow thought those bikes could outrun drones. In reality, they were just open targets on wheels, so the Ukrainians set the stage. HIMARS hit the moving column first, sowing chaos with pinpoint strikes. As the survivors scrambled, Franko's operators unleashed a swarm of FPV drones, hammering soldiers and vehicles alike. Then came the second HIMARS strike, finishing off what little remained. It was over before the Russians even realized what had hit them. 50 soldiers dead, every vehicle destroyed. And yes, there's video. A 3-minute clip released by Militarny shows the whole thing. The column, the explosions, the drones swooping in for direct hits. One strike even turned a vehicle into a fireball so massive there was no chance of survival. Moscow can deny, deflect, or spin all it wants. The footage is undeniable. Pokrovsk is still standing, and another Russian gamble has ended in disaster. Now, let's talk about why Ukraine chose HIMARS for this ambush. You could say the video answers the question itself. The sheer destructive power speaks volumes. But HIMARS is more than just a weapon. It's a symbol of how Western technology has reshaped this war. Built by Lockheed Martin, mounted on a BAE Systems vehicle, HIMARS combines the raw firepower of a multiple-launch rocket system with the mobility of a truck. It's shoot-and-scoot warfare. Fire 6 precision rockets, or even a long-range ATACMS missile, then disappear at 50 miles an hour before the enemy can react. That mobility is what terrifies Russia. Even if they detect the launch site, by the time drones or counter-battery fire arrive, the HIMARS crew is long gone. And the range? With standard rockets, it reaches nearly 30 miles. With extended guided rounds, 43 miles. With ATACMS, an astonishing 186 miles. No Russian system offers that blend of reach, precision, and flexibility. It's no wonder HIMARS has been one of Ukraine's most decisive tools since 2022. Back then, the BBC reported how it transformed the battlefield, hammering Russian ammo depots far behind the lines. Popular mechanics called it a game changer, helping Ukraine retake cities like Izium, Lyman, and Kupiansk. Today, drones may dominate the spotlight, but HIMARS still delivers the knockout blows when it counts, like in Pokrovsk. And the whole world is watching. From the Baltic states to Poland, countries living in Russia's shadow now see HIMARS as essential to their own survival. If Ukraine can smash armored columns and blunt offensives with these systems, why wouldn't Estonia, Latvia, or Lithuania want the same? Moscow's failures are writing the next chapter of NATO's defense planning. But here's where the story gets even bigger. The Pokrovsk ambush wasn't just about one Russian column, it was about the state of Russia's entire tank force. Remember how tanks were supposed to be the backbone of Putin's victory? Those days are gone. According to Ukraine's Ministry of Defense, Russia has lost over 11,000 tanks since the invasion began. Think about that, 11,000. That's 3,000 tanks a year turned into twisted metal by HIMARS, drones, and anti-tank missiles. Russia still fields tanks, but nowhere near the scale it once did. In fact, open-source intelligence revealed that reserves dropped from 7,500 tanks in 2022 to just 3,400 in early 2025. And most of what remains is junk, rusting, stripped for parts, or in desperate need of repair. Novaya Gazeta even reported that tanks have ceased to exist as a factor on the battlefield. The few that remain are sitting ducks for Ukraine's drones and rocket systems. So what's left? More reckless assaults like the one in Pokrovsk, where newly redeployed units from Kursk charge into traps they're not prepared to face. Russia is running out of options. They've already had to rewrite their doctrine, shifting from big armored pushes to infantry infiltration through drone-monitored gray zones. And yet, even these smaller tactics collapse under the weight of Ukrainian precision fire. The bottom line, Pokrovsk stands as proof of a harsh new reality. Russia's dreams of victory through armor are dead. Every time they try to storm forward, Ukraine slams the door with a mix of Western rockets, homemade drones, and tactical brilliance. The once mighty tank, once the symbol of Russian power, is now little more than a target. And this raises the question, how much longer can Moscow keep throwing men and machines into battles it cannot win? Because here's what they don't tell you on state TV in Russia. Every failed assault isn't just a tactical loss, it's a symbol. It tells the world that Putin's army, once feared as unstoppable, can be shattered by a handful of determined soldiers, a few drones, and a launcher on wheels. Pokrovsk is still Ukrainian, the tanks are burning, and the myth of Russian invincibility, that's gone up in smoke. So what do you think? Are tanks now obsolete in modern warfare, or is Russia simply failing to adapt? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more deep dives into the war that's reshaping our world, and stay tuned. The next episode will show you even more about how Ukraine is rewriting the rules of battle in the 21st century.